you having an exchange with Xi Jinping, and President Xi seemed to be very upset. He accused you of leaking the contents of a conversation that you two had on the sidelines of the G20. I'm just wondering, why was President Xi so upset? Was this a misunderstanding? Did you offer him some kind of assurances that you wouldn't talk about this?
First of all, not every conversation is always going to be easy, but it's extremely important that we continue to stand up for the things that are important for Canadians. This is something we always do, and we will continue to. I highlighted areas in which we can and should be working together. A good example is the Nature COP, COP15, being held in Montreal over the coming weeks. At the same time as I highlighted areas of mutual concern, geopolitical challenges from the war in Ukraine to the situation in North Korea. I also highlighted things of preoccupations to Canadians, like the question of interference with our citizens, and highlighted that it's important that we be able to have dialogue about this. But part of our values as Canadians is being open and frank about the conversations we have, keeping Canadians involved and apprised of what it is that we're doing and the conversations we're having here, and that's exactly what I did.
Why do you think, though, why do you think he was so upset? What was the message that he was trying to get across to you? Do you think this was a power play of some kind?
We know that China is an important global player in the economy and has a very big impact on events around the world. Canada needs to be able to engage constructively and directly on areas we can work together, while at the same time we continue to be there to challenge on human rights, on values and principles that matter to Canadians, and look to advance the interests of Canadians. And this is something that we're going to consistently do in a clear and hopefully a constructive way.
Hi, Mr. Trudeau. Mackenzie Gray with Global. I just want to be clear in your conversations with Xi Jinping. You've been saying that you discussed interference with our citizens. I just want to drill down. Did you bring up election interference with Xi Jinping?
I think there's something really important that Canadians need to be reassured by. On the issue of elections interference, in the run-up to the 2019 election, we established a commission composed of top officials and experts to watch carefully, to analyze carefully everything going on during the election, and to report back to Canadians on the integrity of those election processes. And both for the 2019 and 2021 elections, those experts were confident that the elections in Canada unfolded in the right way, and the Canadians can be reassured of that. Their reports are clear. So Canadians can and must be reassured that yes, foreign interference is an issue in a lot of different ways, as we've seen all around the world, but the integrity of Canada's elections have not been compromised.
So did you raise election interference with Xi Jinping?
I raised the issue of interference with our citizens and expressed that it's important that we continue to have dialogue about that.
Going back to China, President Xi told you that the way that you've proceeded is not acceptable, it can't be repeated. Do you actually see a problem here? Because in the video you seem to be dismissing that concern.
Canada trusts its citizens with information about the conversations that we have in their name as a government. I think it's important that Canadians in a democracy, that citizens in a democracy, be apprised of the work that leaders are doing on their behalf, and I won't shy away from being open with Canadians, even as we discuss important and sometimes delicate subjects. Getting the balance right between being open about disagreements and issues we raised, while being able to work constructively at the same time, is something that people have to
understand is what Canadians